The 2026 NFL Scouting Combine wrapped up in Indianapolis, and while front offices will tell you, over and over, that the event doesn't completely reshuffle draft boards, don't let that fool you for a second, because every year the Combine quietly redraws the trajectory of prospects, confirming stars, exposing flaws, and creating momentum that absolutely carries into April. And this year was no different as freak athletes separated themselves, questions got louder for others, and one Ohio State linebacker flat out announced himself as a top-tier prospect, because while interviews and medicals still rule the process, on-field testing remains the fastest way for a player to either validate the hype or invite doubt. And in a year where many prospects chose to skip drills to protect their stock, the ones who competed and dominated stood out even more, especially on defense where size-speed combinations were borderline ridiculous, starting with the biggest winner of the entire event, Sonny Styles, who turned Lucas Oil Stadium into his personal showcase by pairing elite instincts already seen on tape with jaw-dropping athletic testing that reminded evaluators why positional labels are becoming obsolete, because at 6'5" and 244 pounds he moved like a safety, jumped like a wide receiver, and ran like an edge defender, posting one of the best verticals ever recorded by an off-ball linebacker and backing it up with elite straight-line speed. And the scary part for the rest of the league is that none of this felt theoretical, since Styles already plays fast, already diagnoses plays instantly, and already weaponizes those traits every Saturday, making the Combine less of a breakout and more of a confirmation that he belongs in the same conversation as the very top prospects in this class. While behind him the tight end group turned into a highlight reel as a certain Oregon standout redefined what speed at the position looks like, running a historically fast 40 and pairing it with explosive jumps that suggest mismatch nightmares all over the field, reinforcing the idea that today's NFL tight end isn't just an extra lineman but a movable chess piece. And that theme of versatility continued throughout the week as hybrid defenders, move tight ends, and position-flexible pass rushers consistently helped themselves by showing they can fit multiple roles, which is exactly what modern defenses crave. And while quarterbacks didn't completely dominate the headlines, one massive Arkansas passer reminded everyone that raw athletic upside still holds value, even if accuracy and polish lag behind, because when you run faster and jump higher than players 50 pounds lighter, teams will talk themselves into development plans, especially on day 3, and the wide receiver class quietly impressed too, not necessarily with record-breaking speed but with smooth route work, reliable hands, and explosive jumps that reinforced separation skills, while defensive tackles stole their own slice of the spotlight by proving that interior players don't have to be space eaters only, as several lighter, more explosive linemen showed vertical and broad numbers that matched edge rushers, signaling disruption potential rather than just gap control. And in the secondary, length and fluidity ruled the day as oversized corners with elite arm length and legit recovery speed showed they can smother receivers at the line and still run with them downfield, giving coordinators confidence to play more aggressive coverage schemes. But not everyone left Indianapolis smiling, because the Combine has a ruthless way of exposing limitations, and for some prospects the numbers confirmed fears scouts were hoping to disprove, particularly among power defensive tackles whose lack of explosion stood out in a year when athletic benchmarks were inflated, making below-average jumps impossible to ignore. While a few former blue-chip recruits struggled to show the burst and flexibility needed to justify early-round projections, reinforcing concerns that production ceilings may already be capped, and at running back straight-line speed separated potential three-down threats from committee pieces, as one highly productive college runner saw his stock wobble after posting the slowest 40 at his position, raising questions about home run ability at the next level. And receivers weren't immune either, because for big-bodied wideouts who win vertically, a slow 40 becomes magnified, especially when drops show up during drills, forcing evaluators to project a contested catch-only role rather than a true X receiver, which can dramatically alter draft range. And that's really the heart of what the Combine does best, not rewriting the entire board, but sharpening the margins, pushing some players firmly into early-round territory while nudging others into more specialized projections. And when teams say the board doesn't change much, what they really mean is the confidence in their evaluations does, because numbers either align with the film or challenge it. And in 2026 the biggest alignment came from athletes who already flashed on Saturdays and then doubled down with elite testing, while the biggest red flags emerged when traits failed to match production, leaving front offices to debate ceilings versus floors. And as we head toward pro days and private workouts, the storylines are set, with Ohio State's defensive star now firmly entrenched among the elite, The tight end class reshaping expectations, versatile defenders gaining value, and a handful of once hyped names fighting to reclaim momentum, making this one of the more fascinating pre-draft stretches in recent memory, because while the combine may only be part of the process, it remains the loudest stage prospects get before draft night, and this year some players used it to shout, others whispered, and a few unfortunately went quiet, which is exactly why we'll be breaking down every pro day, rumor, and draft rise from here on out. So if you love NFL draft talk, deep scouting breakdowns, and real analysis without the fluff, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay locked in, because draft season is officially heating up and you won't want to miss what's coming next.